Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another session of Ashtanga webinar series. I think we completed 1 year of Ashtanga webinar series from in the last month. So with that, I welcome everybody here for helping us make this a wonderful and successful journey of keeping informative sessions for the general public as well as doctors for on different topics throughout the whole year. uh, I'm very happy and grateful for the Almighty also for giving us the support. So with that, I would like to start today's session. Uh, First of all, I would ask our Executive Director, Mr. T.R. Shashivarya, to give a brief description of KS Warriors Ashtanga Ayurvedics Private Limited. Over to you, sir.
Excited to share my feelings about Ashtanga here. So KS Warriors Ashtanga Ayurvedics Private Limited was started by KS Warrior, Aryavedian KS Warrior, who studied in Kottakkal. In the year 1933, he completed his course and started this company. He happens to be my grandfather, maternal grandfather. So, all the more interesting for me to share this information. So from 1936, there has been no looking back. We have been growing over the years. KS Warrior had this huge service mind that he continued to show in his whole lifetime. He has been working on service as his motto. And he has served millions of patients in his lifetime. He passed on the baton to us and he passed away in 1990. The legacy is with us right now to carry on. So he has left us with at least 200 products and more. Now we manufacture about 300 products in our factory. Our factory was in a very small place in the heart of Tiruchirappalli. And now we have shifted, it has been about 15 years now that we've shifted away from the city and located ourselves in a GMP certified factory. So we have about 200 products in the Shastrik list, and the rest of the products are from the experience that has come out of our own doctors, my own grandfather, as well as my senior most doctor here, who is here in the show right now, Dr. TVN Warrior. He has put in 50 years of service in Ayurveda. So we have a great team here working for ourselves. So the team comprises of various doctors in various clinics. We have 4 clinics in the city, and we also supply medicines to Kerala, Karnataka, as well as Tamil Nadu. So we are happy to be presenting this to all of you. And this is through our experience, we have been bringing in very good speakers for you all with experience of over many years, as well as teaching experience. They are able to explain to us what their topics of discussion are. Today we have with us Dr. Mahesh Raj. Over to Dr. Girish for the rest of the session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that wonderful description of KS Warriors Ashtanga Ayurvedics Private Limited. Once again, I welcome everybody for today's session. Life without health has no meaning. Health gives you the opportunity to enjoy a happy life by allowing you to participate in all of life's activities as you like. Living a healthy lifestyle is the key to keeping your body healthy and your mind intuitive and fresh. So it would prevent diseases and allow you to live a healthy life to its full extent. So today the topic is concept of healthy living with Ayurveda. The guest speaker is Dr. Mahesh Raju, who has completed his BAMS and MD. Dr. Mahesh Raju's brief profile I would like to mention here. Dr. Mahesh Raju has completed his BAMS at Vagdevi Ayurveda Medical College, Warangal, Telangana, and MD Swasthavruta at SDM College of Ayurveda and Hospital, Hassan, Karnataka. He is currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Swasthavruta and Yoga at Sharada Ayurveda Medical College, Yadgir, Karnataka. Dr. Mahesh has presented several scientific papers at various national and international seminars on lifestyle disorders and Ayurveda, role of Ahara, and many. He has also published several research articles in peer-reviewed journals on principles of prevention of diseases according to Ayurveda in International Journal of Ayurveda and Ayurvedic and Herbal Medicine, IJAHM, in 2017. Management of Obesity, Staulia Success Story, a case study in International Ayurvedic Medical Journal, IAMJ, in 2017, etc. He has actively participated in government of Andhra Pradesh programs like Janmabhoomi, Pachadanam, Parishubhrata, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, etc. Dr. Mahesh Raju has also participated in many health camps and educational programs and rendered services and social service activities organized by various institutions. He has served as a yoga instructor on the occasion of International Yoga Day in 2017 at KMF ISRO Satellite Control Station, Hassan, Karnataka. We are glad to have Dr. Mahesh Raju as the speaker for this webinar to teach us the concept of healthy living with Ayurveda and why being healthy should be part of our overall lifestyle. I would also like to add that I have been fortunate enough to be one of his colleagues while studying at SDM Hassan. During our post-graduation, we had a wonderful time together. Yes, Dr. Mahesh Raj. I think we should be remembering those days as well. So with that, I would like to give the stage to Dr. Mahesh. But before that, I'd like to tell everybody to kindly please put yourself on mute. Any queries you have, any doubts you have, you may please put the queries and doubts in the chat box. We can answer those at the end of the session. And at the end of the session, if you want to directly speak with Dr. Mahesh Raju, that can also be done if you have any questions. So that can also be done. Anybody would like to put the questions privately, that can also be done. So I also would like to add that Dr. Mahesh Raju is right now in a place where there is limited internet connectivity. So he might be needing to switch off his video sometimes during the talk. Is that right, Dr. Mahesh?
Yes, sir. Due to lack of network and for smooth conducting of this webinar, so I would like to mute my video while conducting the session.
Yes, doctor. So I would like to hand over the stage to you, doctor.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for briefing my introduction. I feel very glad to attend this session as a guest speaker for today. And I convey my heartfelt thanks to the KS Warriors Sangha Pharma. And thanks for choosing me to share my knowledge on today's topic. So thank you once again. So without wasting time, we'll move on to the concept of today. So shall I share my screen?
Yes, sir. I think Vignesh, you have given the yes.
I'm muting my video, so please sorry for the inconvenience due to lack of network for the smooth conducting of this webinar. So please follow the slides. Is it visible?
Yes, yes, doctor. Yes.
Yes. So a very good evening to each and everyone, all the seniors who are present here and the organizers. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I'm very glad to present this concept and sharing the knowledge regarding this concept of health, healthily living with Ayurveda. So myself, Dr. Mahesh, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Swasthvrutta and Yoga, Sharda Ayurvedic Medical College, Yadgir. So these are the contents which we are going to learn in today's session. Introduction regarding the health concept and what is Arogya and what is Swastha, a definition of the health, why we have to be healthy, and what is healthy lifestyle, Lakshana of a healthy individual. Being a healthy, how the person is going to be appear and what and all the symptoms is going to be present, and how can we achieve those Lakshanas, and how to maintain the health, and what are the things to be avoided to be healthy. So these are the contents of my presentation of today. So healthy living is a personal choice, but everyone has their own role to play in it. So nowadays, in this generation, in order to be healthy, this is very difficult task. Why? Because each and every aspect is going to affect. Okay. So most of the confounding factors will affect our health. So in this generation, it is very difficult to be a healthy. So one should have the knowledge regarding all the concepts today, what we are going through. So healthy choices every day that keep us fit in all the aspects, physically, mentally, socially, and spiritually. So not only just physically, you have to consider the remaining other aspects of the life to be the healthy. So by staying healthy, we can help to prevent various chronic diseases and reduce the risk of becoming the illness. Individuals and families, community, government, and other organizations are also has an equal role in achieving the healthy life. Now we'll see what is Arogya. Everyone might be knowing healthy, that we call in our Sanskrit as a Arogya. So the sloka goes like this: Rogastu dosha vaishamyam dosha samyam arogata. So sorry, most of you people are non-Ayurveda, but even though I have to take the references from the Ayurveda, as this is the concept of healthy living with Ayurveda, so I need to go through the slokas also. So if at all, if you didn't understand any concept, you can ask me later in the end of the session. Okay. So sloka, rogastu dosha vaishamyam, dosha samyam arogata. So that means the samya avastha of the doshas is called as arogya, health. And vaishamya avastha of the doshas itself is the roga, disease. So first you have to know what is samya avastha, what is dosha. So dosha is nothing but the three doshas are present according to Ayurveda. So vata, pitta, and kapha, three entities which are present in our body. So the balance of these three doshas, which is helpful for maintenance of the healthy life. And another sloka from the Chakrapani commentary on Charaka Sutrasthana. So Srusto Nirvikarattvena Avatistate iti swastaha. So what does it mean? The condition whose body is devoid of any abnormality. Means in any person, there should not be any abnormal condition. He is known as healthy person. In our language, we call him as a swastha purusha, right? So Srusto Nirvikarattvena Avatistati iti swastaha. And what exactly does swastha mean? Samadoshaha, samagnischaha, samadhatu, malakriyaha, prasanna atma indriyatmanaha, swastha iti vidiyate. This is the reference according to the Sushrutacharya. He has clearly explained in order to be a swastha, what and all the lakshana you have to possess, like samadoshaha, in whose the body which is having the maintenance of equilibrium of samadosha, equilibrium of all the three doshas, and Sama Agni. What and all the 13 Agnis are present inside our body, that should be equally normalcy working. And Sama Dhatu, all the Sapta Dhatus should be in a normalcy. And Malakriyaha, all the excretory like Mutra, Purusha, Shukra, all such type of things has to be normally, should be excreted out from the body. And Prasannata, happiness, Prasanna, Atma, Indriya, Manaha. So all the mental, sensory, and spiritual aspect of our body that should have a pleasantness and happiness in order to be a healthy and happy life. He is called as Swastha Purusha. So in modern aspect, you might be knowing this. So according to WHO, definition goes like this. Health is defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of a disease or infirmity, and an ability to lead socially and economically a productive life. So this is simply according to the modern science. So physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of the disease. So what we can say, if anybody asks you, how are you? So at that time, we will simply say, yeah, I'm fine. But you are not knowing that whether you are fine with which aspect, like physically you are okay, or mentally okay, or socially okay. But most of the time we consider that by physically, if you are healthy, then you can easily say that we are healthy. Yeah, we are fine, right? So it is not the matter of only one aspect. You have to look after the remaining other aspects also, like physical, mental, social well-being, and socially and economically a productive life should be there. Then only you will be a healthy person. And why we have to be a healthy person? So here Charaka has explained a clear-cut sloka. It's like dharmartha kama mokshanam arogyam moolamuttamam. Rogastasya pahartara shreyaso jivitasya cha. So what does this sloka explain us? So main aim of Ayurveda here he is going to explain, like in aim of Ayurveda, like dharma, artha, kama, moksha. You might be heard these four terminology, right? So dharma, which is a pious act or the good act which we can do in our life. Dharma, giving something to others. Okay. Artha is nothing but wealth, earning money in a righteous way. And kama, desire for something in our life. Okay. Either it may be kama or in any other aspect also desire, but it is in a lawful desire. And moksha, the ultimate stage of our life is salvation. That is, one has to attain the moksha in the end of our life, right? So in order to attain all these four aspects, one has to have arogya first. Okay, so if you are arogya, then only you could be able to achieve all these four aspects of your life. That says the sloka, dharmartha kama mokshanam arogyam moolamuttamam, right? So if at all, if you are roga, if you are a rogi, at that time that will takes away the health and happiness of your life, and you cannot achieve all these four pursuits of your life, right? So only we have to be healthy always. And what does it mean, healthy lifestyle? The lifestyle which is the practices when a person can maintain his health in a healthier way is called as a healthy lifestyle. And by this, some of the references from various contemporary sciences and according to our sciences also, some of the things has been mentioned like personal hygiene, health and nutrition, consumption of a balanced diet, physical exercise, yoga and pranayama, and controlling the emotions and saying no to the addictions. These are the some of the good practices by which we can attain the healthy lifestyle. Okay, this is according to various sciences also been involved here. And now imagine a person who is called as a healthy person. Now, what and all the symptoms is going to be appear in that healthy person? Like clear skin. So his skin will be glowing. Okay, the charm is present in the skin, and good complexion is present in the skin, right? And the eyes are very bright. By seeing their eyes only, we feel like wow, right? So in such a way, the healthy person eyes are going to be very bright, and whose body is having a lustrous hair and firm flesh is seen, and who are not too fat and not too thin. Okay, so being a swastha person or being a healthy person, you should not be not too fat, not too thin. Okay, and a sweet breath, oral hygiene is always maintained. Okay, and a good appetite, one should have a good appetite according to the time. And in time digestion of the consumed food. This is also very important. You may be getting good appetite, but what and all the food you have consumed is not digested, then it's of no use. Okay, so sound sleep, a good quality of the sleep also is very important for a person to be a healthy person. And regular activity of the bowel and bladder, so they should pass the motion as well as urine in a regular interval without any difficulty. And all the organs of the body are expected to be in a normal shape, size and function. Okay, so then only we call that person as a swastha purusha. So, and all those indriyas like pancha jnanendriyas and pancha karmendriyas, all those indriyas are should be in a normal. Okay, so then only we call him as a swastha purusha. Imagine if we might have getting all such type of lakshanas, then you are also called as a healthy individual. So you can check up whether all these lakshanas are present in you or also not. So next one, how can we achieve this healthy life, right? So classically in Ayurveda, we have some references like dinacharya, daily regimen. What and all the things you have to do, starting from the wake upping to the till night sleeping. Okay, so that includes under dinacharya and nishacharya, the ratri charya. We call it as a ratri charya. In the night regimen, what and all the things we have to practice, and rutucharya. So according to the season, what and all the things to be taken care, and Trayopastamba Palana. So individually, we'll see what and all these things have been mentioned in our Ayurveda. And Nitya Sevaniya Ahara, Nidhana Parivarjana, and avoid Prajna Parada, Vega Dharana, Sadvrutta Palana, Ritu Ansara Shodhana, Rasayana Sevana. And considering all these above aspects to be a conducive factors for the maintenance of the life and health. Now, individually, we'll see in a very brief way what is dinacharya and what and all the things involved in it, right? So, dinacharya, which is including some of the concepts like Brahma Muhurta and Ushapana, Shaucha Karma, etc. That means what and all the things we do since from waking up. Okay. So, Brahma Muhurte Utiste Swasto Rakshartham Ayusha. So, the classically sloka will say like this. So, Brahma Muhurte Utiste Swastha Rakshartham Ayusha means what happens if you wake up. So one always wake up in the early mornings. That is night the to wake up. Why? Because most of the oxygen percentage you and that you have to take, and the brain will be function very well. And that time is used for reading the books or any of the class time. If you read, you will attain the knowledge which is of Brahma. Okay, so only this muhurta is called as a Brahma Muhurta. And if you wake early morning, you melt at any time. If you early like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock time, you get hungry immediately like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Why? Because your body start the metabolism sense from you are waking up. That the energy, so that right, and so that you will be having the fresh food. So in such a this Brahma Muhurta.
He had gone through some technical issue. He'll be back very soon. So during this time, I would like to also mention here that the Brahma Muhurta, most of the people these days are not able to follow the Brahma Muhurta waking up. So we also notice that a lot of people are ending up with a lot of lifestyle disorders these days. So maybe if we follow the daily regimen and the seasonal regimen plus the Ratri Charya, that is the night regimen, if that is being followed properly, I think most of us can actually lead a healthy life without going into diseases, and maybe stop. We never need to go to a doctor in that case. Hi, Dr. Mahesh. You're back.
Okay, sorry for the inconvenience.
No issues, doctor.
Due to lack of network, it has been disconnected.
No issues. We know that you are in a place where the network issue is there. So no issues, doctor. So please, you may continue.
Yeah. So in such a way, some Brahma Muhurta has been helping us to be maintain our health in a healthier way. Is this audible and visible?
Yes, doctor. You are audible as well as visible.
Yeah. So these are the some of the healthy practices like Brahma Muhurta Uttishta and Ushapana, drinking the lukewarm water in the early morning after waking up. One can consume the 750 ml of water approximately for a easy passage of the bowel. Easy movement of the bowel, one has to consume the lukewarm water. That is also helpful for eliminating the toxins from our body very easily. And Saucha Karma, so easy bowel movement. So there should not be any constipation likewise, and there should not be any inadequate passage of bowel, right? So for that, Saucha Karma has to be prominently maintained here. And next comes to the concept of Dantadhavana. So Ayurvedic twigs have been mentioned under the concept of Dantadhavana, like Arka, Negroda, Karanja, Kakuba. So some of the medicated herbs can be used as a brush, right? So my length has been mentioned about 12 angulas, right? And the width that should be of a little finger width. Okay, in such a way, such type of drugs has to be maintained for brushing the teeth. And Jiva Nirlekana is one of the important factor here. Jiva is a tongue, and Nirlekana is a scraping. Scraping of the tongue has to be done. Why? Because the coating, the excessive coating over your tongue, that will affect your taste. So taste receptors are present on your tongue, so that is very difficult. So one has to go for Jiva Nirlekana. And some of the practices like Gandusha, Kavala, and Anjana, Dhumapana, Nasya, Vyayama. Vyayama, you know Vyayama, so regular of practicing the Vyayama. So Lagavam Karma Samarthyam, Deepto Agni, Medasak Shayaha. So the lightness of the body is being appeared while practicing the Vyayama. Deepto Agni means if at all if you're having the less appetite, so by practicing Vyayama, you can increase your Agni also. Okay. So Abhyanga is nothing but massage, oil massage. So Abhyanga is also helpful for the nourishment of your skin and your body, right? So Abhyanga Macharet Nityam Sajara Shramavataha. So Abhyanga, if you regularly practice this oil massage, you can see that delaying of the age is also appreciated by regular practice of this Abhyanga. And Pada Abhyanga is one of the important factor where indicated in some of the cases like insomnia, where people suffer with the lack of nidra. There you can go for the practice of Pada Abhyanga. You slowly get a good sleep. A quality of a sleep is appreciated here. And Udvartana is nothing but powder massage. So powder massage is with some medicated powders. You have to undergo the massage, which is helpful to reduce the excessive fat. like it is indicated majorly in obese people. And snana is nothing but bath, what we do regularly. And here some of the indications for bath. One has to use the hot water bath, but not above the clavicular region. So above clavicular region, you have to use the cold water, and remaining other parts you can use the hot water. Such a way, some of the Dinacharya procedures have been mentioned in the classics. Why we have to maintain all these Dinacharya procedures like Suchita, Suprasannindriyata, Bhala Labha, Ayushya Labha. Mainly, we are concentrating on this aspect. Ayushya Labha, that is promotion of health and longevity, is been occur by practicing all these Dinacharya procedures. And Saumanasyata, that means the keeping the mind at a peace and harmony, which is also helpful for maintenance of the health in a healthier way, right? So in such a way, Nishacharya, Ratricharya is also has been explained. Okay, so in Ratricharya, majorly you might have not gone through this concept, just listen carefully. So 5 actions have been contraindicated here, like intake of the food and sexual intercourse and sleep, reading and walking. So all these 5 aspects are to be contraindicated during the time of evening. Evening is exactly during the sunset. Exactly during the sunset, one should not undergo such type of practice like intake of the food, sexual intercourses, sleeping and reading and walking. What happens if you undergo intake of the food causes the diseases, sexual intercourse causes the deformities of the fetus, and sleep causes the poverty, and reading causes the loss of lifespan, and walking causes the fearfulness. And Bhojana Vidhi also, what and all the quantity you have eaten for the afternoon. So exactly half of the quantity you have to choose for the night time, right? So the gap has to be maintained for the night dinner and sleeping. Immediately after eating, one should not go for the sleeping. So these are the some of the contraindications and indications you have to follow in Nishacharya. So these are the some of the good timings according to my knowledge. So one can go for reading at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and morning 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. and dinner 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. and sleeping time 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. and wake up time 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Brahma Muhurta. Okay, this is according to my view. And Rutucharya also, it is a very vast subject, and due to lack of time, I cannot explain all those things here. So sorry for the inconvenience. And some of the Rutus you might be knowing. 6 Rutus like Shishira, Vasanta, Grishma, Varsha, Sharad, Hemanta. Right now, Hemanta Rutu has been going on. You are all feeling the chill outside, right? So due to the chill, our body is maintaining the temperature inside only. It is not spreading the temperature to leak outside the body, so that the Agni, the digestive fire which is present inside our body, will be arresting inside only, so that you will be getting digested what and all the food which we consume. So one has to consume the very heavy items. Heavy item in the form of Guru. Okay, Guru in the form of Guna, not in Matra. So that means quantity is less quantity, but its property should be heavy to digest, right? Such type of ahara to be preferred. If not, it may sometimes digest your dhatus also. So Agni will be peaks in this Ritu. Okay. So Divaswapna, we call it as a day sleeping. So day sleeping is also contraindicated in this present Ritu. And we have an important concept called as Traya Upastamba. Traya means 3. Upastamba means sub-pillars. Stamba means pillar, as you all know. So main stambas are Vata, Pitta, Kapha, which maintains the balance of your life. But Upastamba means sub-pillars. So what are all the sub-pillars like Ahara, Nidra, and Brahmacharya, right? So Ahara, Nidra, and Brahmacharya are the sub-pillars which maintains your life. Let's see what and all this Ahara is playing a role here. So some of the Nitya Sevaniya Dravya we have to go through here. So the name itself says Nitya means regularly. Sevaniya means consumption of. Dravya means Ahara. Okay. So what in all the Ahara which can be permissible for consumption daily? So the reference of Charka has been given like this. Sestikan Shali Mudgan, Saindavamlaka Yavan, Antariksham Payaha Sarpi, Jangalam Madhucha Abhyasayet. So what happened by consumption regularly of such type of dravyas? Tacha nityam prayunjita swasthyam enanu vartayet ajathanam vikaranam anutpatti karam chayat. So the sloka very clearly explains like, so these are the dravyas you have to consume regularly. On consumption of regularly, tacha nityam prayunjita Swasthya yenanu vartate means you will become swastha. So in order to become swastha and maintain that life in a happier way and healthier way, one has to regularly consume such type of ahara. And now let's see what are those dravyas. Okay, so these are some of the dravyas we have gone through in the sloka. Shastika shali, that is a red variety of the rice, okay, and which is grown in 60 days only. Usually, normal rice has been grown in 90 days, but this rice is a variety of rice which is grown only 60 days. So only it is called as Shastika shali, and normal rice has also been accepted. And mudga, that is the green gram, which is consumable regularly. So very protein rich item, and this is a carbohydrate rich item. And Saindava Lavana, so mineral, so iodine rich. Okay, so normally what we consume the salt is the iodized salt, but we can replace that salt with the classical Saindava Lavana. Okay, and Amalaki gooseberry. Okay, so this is the amla fruit. This is very good for your heart functioning. Amlaki can be consumed regularly. And this is Yava. Yava means the barley rice. Barley rice is very good for Staulya people. So we can regularly consume such type of ahara. And Antariksha Jala. Antariksha Jala is nothing but the rainwater. But nowadays, this rainwater is not the purest form. Previously, in a classical, it has been mentioned that is, it is a very clear water, or the purest form of water is the rainwater. But nowadays, due to the levels of pollution, we cannot consider this as a purest form of a water. Okay. So, Dugdha. So, you can consider the Kshira, that is especially Gokshira. Regularly, you can consume the milk. And Gogritha, you can consume regularly. And Madhu, honey, is also regularly consumable. And Jangala Mamsa. So, Mamsa, either it may be meat of any animal which is grown normally, can be consumed. So these are the some of the dravyas. Shastikan Shalimudgan, Saindavam Lakevan, Antariksham Payam Sarpi, Jangalam Madhuchabhyase, Tachanityam Prayanjita, Swasthainanuvartate, Ajatanam Vikaranam, Anutpatikaram Chayat, right? So this is the classical reference given regarding the ahara. And the next slide slows, this slide itself explains you the ahara, what and all you consume that will build your body. So aharam sambhavam vastu rogascha ahara sambhavaha. That means aharam what we have consumed. So that is going to build up your body. Aharam sambhavam vastuhu. Rogascha ahara sambhavam means if at all if you don't consume the very good ahara, that is going to cause you the roga inside your body. So that means the ahara, what and all you consume, is responsible for construction of your body, building of your body. Hita ahita visheshascha vishesho sukha dukhayo. So especially if at all you consume the very good ahara, that will create the sukha in your life. And if at all if you consume the ahita ahara, that is the bad rice or bad food items which you consume, that will create the dukkha in your body, right? So this is the classical reference regarding the ahara. And one more ahara related topic, Astahara Vidhi Visheshayatana has clearly mentioned 8 points. What is that? Prakriti Karana Samyoga, Rashi, Desha, Kala, Upayoga Samstha, and Upayukta. So what is this Prakriti? The natural qualities of the food means it depends. So which type of ahara you are going to consume. So based on that only, it is been formed. The body is been formed, and based on your Prakriti, to which Prakriti you belong, like whether you are Vata Prakriti, whether you are Kapha Prakriti or Pitta Prakriti, based on that, you have to choose your ahara. And Karana is nothing but samskara. Samskara means processing of the food. So if at all, if you consume the naturally grown food, then your body will be very good. If at all, if you consume such type of fried rice and all, so your body is not going to build well, right? So processing. Here the ahara is again fried once again after cooking, right? So such type of practices you should not follow, right? And samyoga means in combination. Samyoga is also important concept. Why? Because you cannot combine all the foods equally. Example, so like ghee and honey cannot be combined in an equal quantity. Why? So both of them, if at all, if you taken in an equal quantity, immediately that will be converted as a poison. So one has to have the knowledge regarding the samyoga. And Rashi, Rashi means the quantity of the food what we consume. So even though that ahara, which is light in digestion, If you consume in excess, what happens? That will create the indigestion in our body, right? So Rashi is also important. So quantity of the food is also important while suggesting to the patients, right? Next one, Desha. Desha means in the place where they grow. So which type of place they are growing, whether Sadharana Desha, whether Jangala Desha, in such a way, means whether aquatic area it is been grown, whether it is grown in a desert area or grown in a normal area. So depending upon that, its gunas or its qualities are going to be varied. And Kala. So at what time you are consuming the ahara? By seeing the time you are going for lunch or dinner, or by respecting your Agni, you are eating. So this is also matters. So Upayoga Samstha, we have some other set of rules here. Ushna Mashniyat means you have to consume the Ushna Ahara only, Snigdha Ahara only. Okay, I cannot take much time here. And Upayukta means depends upon the person. So who are going to consume the food. So these are the Asta Ahara Vidhi Vishesha Ayatana, a classical reference related to the Ahara, right? Now moving on to the Nidra. What is Nidra? Nidra is the sleep. So everyone will know this is the sleep, and the good quality of the sleep is also helpful for good build of your body. And classically, we have one reference here, Ardharoga Harim Nidra. What does it mean? So most of the diseases has been treated, if at all, if you have a good quality of Nidra itself. So some of the diseases like where you are suffering with insomnia, lack of sleep, so that will create n number of diseases again. So if you get a good nidra, good quantity and quality of nidra, that will cure the half of the diseases. Ardharoga harim nidraha. Benefits like sukha dukkha, nidrayatam sukham dukkham, pustikasha balabalam, rushata klivata, jnanam ajnanam, jivitam nacha. So if at all, if you have a good sleep, that is going to cause the sukha to your body. If you don't get sleep, you will get dukkha. Okay, so if you have good sleep, that will nourish your body, and if you don't sleep, that is not going to nourish your the body. And if you good sleep, then it will going to get a good bala of your body. If you have a lack of sleep, abala, loss of strength is been seen. Vrushata, this is the sexual capacity or sexual potency or vigor. Okay, so that is being gained by good sleep. And klaibyatva, neutrality. Okay, loss of sexual potency, okay, is seen due to lack of sleep. Jnanam, ajnanam. In order to get a knowledge, you have to have good sleep. Okay, so only suggested to the students on regular reading, you have to sleep very well so that to recollect the things. If you go on continuously reading, it is evaporating, right? So sleep is also important. And during sleep, repairing is also going to happen in our body. So one has to give the time to repair ourselves. Our body is trying to repair our mechanism inside our body. So have a good sleep. Diva Sapna here terminology. Diva Sapna is nothing but day sleep. And day sleep is also playing a very important role. If you sleep in the daytime, at least for 1 hour also, that is going to rise the kapha inside your body. And it is indicated in some of the people who works in the night shift, and the contraindications who are already stout in this contraindicated. Okay. And Ratri Jagarana means not sleeping in the right time, in the night time. Okay. So this is also been indicated in some people. So who are already stout, for them it is okay. And contraindications who are very lean and they cannot bear without sleep. So for them, Ratri Jagana is contraindicated. Brahmacharya is nothing celibacy that will give the success and longevity of the life, and the gods attain the immortality by practicing this brahmacharya. Brahma is nothing but a sexual restriction, rules and regulations to be followed in a sexual activities. So strictly one has to follow lawful sex only. Before the marriage, sex is highly contraindicated, and after the marriage, only to get the progeny, one has to go for sexual practices, right? So food is ultimately transforming into the shukra. So it is a very important. One should not waste the shukra without no cause. Excessive loss of shukra leads to loss of life also, right? So brahmacharya is important. And nidana parivarjana, nidana is nothing but causative factor of any disease. Parivarjana means you have to avoid. So you have to avoid the positive factor of any of the diseases. That is also going to give you the health. Example, Viruddhahara. Viruddha means the one which is not accepted by the body. So such type of contradictory ahara one should not consume. That is going to cause the vyadhi. Okay. Ati or alpa sevana of ahara. Excessive consumption or not consuming ahara is also going to cause the vyadhi. Example, very ice cream in cold season. Already outside it is cold, so you should not consume the ice cream again. That means that will create some diseases like cold and cough, right? So one has to avoid such type of nidanas. Spicy or masala foods in summer season, right? So in such a way, we can give n number of examples for nidana parivarjana. This is also going to improve your quality of life. And avoiding pragna parada. Pragna parada is nothing but intellectual errors. Intellectual error means even though after knowing that is wrong and you are doing that, that is the intellectual error. Okay. So excessive sexual act. What happens if you practice excessive sexual act? As just now we have gone through, excessive loss of semen has been seen. So that may sometimes leads to the loss of life. Okay. So after knowing that this is wrong, and again you should not practice that. That is nidana. Avoiding pragna parada. Okay. And the next concept related to the Vega, that is urge. Vega is nothing but a urge. Okay. So that urges are of different types, and there are some urges to be withheld, and there are some urges you should not control them, right? So here we are moving on to the Adharaniya Vega, where you should not withhold this urges like urine, feces, semen, platter, vomiting, sneezing, belching, yawning, hunger, thirst, tear, and sleep, breathe on, exhaustion. So these are the some of the urges whenever you feel, you never or you should not control them. You have to attend that urge. Okay, by practicing or by withholding such type of urges, you are going to suffer with some other vyadis. Okay, so roga api jayante vego dharanaihi. Most of the rogas are going to cause because of Vega Udirana and Vega Dharana only. Vega Udirana means even though that urge is not forming, you are going to attend that urge. Okay. So, and Vega Dharana means when urge is matured and you are not attending that, right? Example, you are feeling your bladder is tight, but you are unable to go and void because you are in a meeting in such a way. Dharana, we are withholding. And Udirana means you are not feeling to pass the motion, but you are visiting the washroom. At the time, you are exerting some force so that you may suffer with some piles, right? In such a way, Vega Dharana and Vega Udirana, these are the two factors which are helpful for treating and maintaining the health. And there are some Vegas where you have to control your manas, like Manasika Vegas like Lobha, Shoka, Bhaya, Krodha, Irsha, Adhiraga. Lobha means grief, and Lobha means uh, greed. Lobha means greed, and Shoka means grief. One should not have all such type of things, right? So you have to withhold all such type of feelings. Bhaya, fearfulness, Krodha, anger, okay, Irsha, jealousy nature. So such type of things you have to control yourself. And Vachana karmas like Parusha Vachana and Atimatra Vachana, Suchaka Vachana, Anruta Vachana, and Akala Vachana. So one should not speak harshly towards any others, and one should not speak in excess. And Suchaka Vachana, one should not backbite, means someone will speak in front of you one thing and another in back they will speak some other, okay, some other things. So in such a way you should not do such type of papas. Okay. And Kaika Vachanas, Parapidana. So you are getting difficult or creating some bad situation to others, insulting others. Okay. And Stri Boga, unlawful sexual activities, and Himsa, creating torture to others, Steya, stealing the objects of some others. In such a way, some of the Vegas you have to control, right? So some of the urges you have to control, and some of the urges you should not control, right? So these are the root causes for Vyadis. And Sadruta Palana, code of conduct. So personal hygiene has to be maintained, social hygiene has to be maintained, control on our body, mind, and words. Just now we have gone through, and empathy on others, healthy food habits has to be practiced, avoidance of intoxication articles means Viruddhahara should not be consumed, and sexual discipline, that is Brahmacharyatva, what we have seen, that has to be gone through. This all set will comes under Sadvrutta Palana. Sadvrutta, good regimen has to be practiced. And Rutanusar Shodhana, just now we have gone through the Rutus, 6 Rutus. Okay, Shishira Vasanta Grishma, Varsha Sharad Hemanta. Only this Ayurvedic people can clearly understand what are those Rutus and then which doshas are going to be aggravated in which Rutus. So why we have to go for Shodhana, cleansing therapy or detoxification therapy? Why? So purification of the body by evacuation of the toxins which are accumulated in various parts of our body. So slowly, day by day, the toxins are going to be accumulated, stuck in our body. That if they are not evacuated completely, so the day or the other day you are going to die. So you have to evacuate such type of toxins by performing detoxification therapies, right? And Rasayana Sevana. So what is Rasayana? By consumption, any items or by doing some work. Okay, Rasayana can be either Ahara or Vihara or Aushada. So what happened by consumption of Rasayana? You will get Dirgha Ayusha, okay, and you will get good Meda Shakti, and you will get Arogya, okay. And this consumption of Rasayana has a capacity to withhold or delay the aging capacity, right? So one has to consume Rasayana regularly, like Chavanprash and Nitya Sevaniya Dravyas, what discussed just now, and Gokshira and Kukutana Sevana, like eggs we have to consume regularly, and Grita and Vyayama, and following the healthy lifestyle. This can be considered as a Rasayana Sevana. And Yoga Abhyasa, everyone might be knowing what is yoga and all. And some of the pranayama practices also regularly one has to practice, like Anulom Viloma, Kapalbhati, Bastrika, Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama, and Brahmari Pranayama for the maintenance of the healthy life, right? So, in the last but not least, Nityam Hitahara Vihara Sevi, Samikshakari Visheshvasaktakaha, Data Samaha, Satyam Paraha, Kshamavan Aptopasevi cha, Bhavatya Arogaha. Arogaha. In order to be Arogya, in order to enjoy that arogya, one has to be nityam hitahara, regularly. Hita ahara means you have to consume the hita ahara only. And hita vihara, the activities which are very good. You have to consume good ahara and you have to practice the good habits. And samikshakari. Samikshakari means the one who is having the capacity to decide which is good and which is bad. In such a way, one has to be there. Samikshakari, Visheshvasaktakaha, who are not having any, what we say, who are not get attached to such type of worldly pleasures, right? So you should be like that. And Data Samaha, always you should be like a Data. You should donate something for some other, right? And Satyam Paraha, always you have to speak the truth. And Kshemavan, always you have to forgive the others. Okay, Kshemavan. And Aptopasevi, Apta, the word Apta here is the person who is having the Trikala Gnani, means he is knowing all the Gnana, like past, future, present. Okay, you have to listen for such type of person's words. Trikala Gnani, Aptopasevicha, such type of person will become Arogya. Okay, so this is the reference from Ashtanga Sutrasthana, and all these things we have already gone through. And for the last, you have to avoid these papas called as Dashavida Papa. Okay, so Himsa, Steya, Anyata Kama, Paishunya, Varshavachana, Anrutavachana, and Sambhinnalapa. What does it mean? Causing injury and torture to others, and stealing the objects of some others, and unlawful sexual activity, and abusive and harsh speech. Okay, and harsh speaking and hurting others. Okay, speaking untruth to others. So all such type of the speech which causes a suppression of both, like breaking down the company, means such type of things you have to avoid. So this is related to the body. And next one is speech. Sorry, these first three is related to the body. Himsa, Steya, Aneta, Kama. And the speech related, this Paishunya, Paruta, Parusha Vachana, and Anruta Vachana, Sambhinalapa. And this mind related, Vyapada and Abhidhyaya, Drig Viparyaya. So quarrel, you should not quarrel with others, and you should not feel the jealous for others, and you should not find the fault in others, and you always should not create the misunderstanding in others, right? So such type of things are called placed under dasha vida papa. So one should not create such type of papas. Okay, so as per your interest, here I'm giving some of the take home points. So just commonly useful tips for your home remedies, like in some conditions like indigestion, you can go through consumption of ginger and salt, right? A small pinch of ginger and a salt before the meals, that will improve your agni and which will cure the indigestion. And if at all some of the conditions like flatulence or any disturbance in your stomach, that may consume 2 grams of ajwain powder plus 2 grams of soap with hot water. You can consume, that will cure the flatulence or a bloating stomach, right? In diarrhea condition, you can consume the pomegranate fruit or in the form of a juice, so that will stop the diarrhea. And some of the things like hair fall, gray hair, dandruff, in all such type of condition, amla fruit, it has to be soaked inside the water for 1 day, and you have to grind that powder and apply to the hair. Okay, you can get free from all these things. And you have to daily consume the ghee. Benefits of consuming ghee: indigestion in all such type of condition, ghee is the beneficial one. And in obesity, 1 spoon of honey with water, and especially not hot water. Why? Because honey should not be heated, right? So in insomnia, in lack of sleep, one has to go for pada abhyanga, called as foot massage, and you can have a cup of cow's milk, gogrutha, or buffalo milk is also been indicated during the bedtime, right? So conclusion, what and all the things we have gone through, dinacharya, nishacharya, rutucharya, and trayopastamba, etc. All these things we have gone through, right? So all these are all very important for the maintenance of the health. So this is according to our classical references for the maintenance of the happy and healthier life. And thank you. Thank you. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I feel very glad to share my little knowledge in front of you all. Thank you. Thanks for this opportunity. Thank you for the organizers. Over to you, Dr. Girish.
Thank you, Dr. Mahesh. Thank you. That was a wonderful session. We had a great number of points which we could take as take-home points. So I think all of us would have benefited from those points. I would, with your permission, I would like to ask you, can we go forward to the question and answer session?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, doctor. So I think Dr. Mahesh Raj's contact details are there on the screen. Those who want to contact him directly, you may please kindly contact him also directly if you want. We'll just wait for 1 minute, doctor, so that after that we can close down the slide screen sharing.
Sure.
By the way, in the feedback, in the chat box, we have shared the feedback link. Please kindly fill in the feedback link. You may get your participation certificates after filling the feedback link within 24 hours. It will reach you through your mail. Any questions that you have, you may put in the chat box. Any questions that you want to ask directly, you may also please ask directly. If you want to open your unmute yourself and ask, that can also be done. Otherwise, I would start reading the questions also. So that can also be done. So anybody who has any questions. So with that, I think we can close down the screen sharing, doctor. I hope everybody would have noted down. Anybody who want, you can ask again if you want.
Sir, hi.
Okay. So
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Hello.
I have some questions.
Please, ma'am.
Sir, what is the best thing to mix with lukewarm water? Like lemon water will take the enamel, right? Will affect the enamel, right? So what is the best thing to mix it with lukewarm water in the morning?
yeah, that's a good question actually. So here the lukewarm water has been preferred. Why? Because the internal GIT is also having a particular temperature. So to activate the mobility, intestinal mobilization, so the bowel movement, for proper bowel movement, we have to consume the lukewarm water. And as we all know that a small quantity of Agni is also present inside our body. And if you consume the cold water, that may sometimes not helpful for the mobility of the bowel. So that we prefer the lukewarm water.
Okay, so 750 ml lukewarm water is very hot to drink.
Yeah, actually, classically, Acharyas have mentioned that 750 ml of water. Why? Because if you consume more amount of water, that will create more pressure. That will create more pressure so that easily you can go for a motion. So that bowel movement is also very easily attained. So for that only, most of the amount of the water is being consumed. Why? Because we have some other references as per naturopathy also. Okay. So Lagu Shanka Prakshalana, there is a one procedure in our naturopathy. So in that procedure also, most amount of water has been consumed and some of the asanas have been practiced. And after that, immediately you will get an urge, and so that very forcefully motion has been excreted out. So that created the pressure of consuming such type of water.
Okay, can I add jeeragam in it? Jeeragam.
Yeah, you can add, no problem. Why? Because this is the empty stomach. So instead of adding all those, plain hot water or lukewarm water, not hot water, lukewarm water is been suggested.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, you're on mute, sir. Kirisha.
Okay, sorry. So thank you, doctor. That was a wonderful answer. I would like to move on to the questions in the chat box. In between, we can ask anybody who needs to ask directly also. This daily practice of Pratimarshanasya will prevent us from Urdhva Jatrugata Vikaras. That is one question.
Yes, very good question. Pratimarshanasya can be regularly practiced, and this is not having any contraindications, and any aged people can practice this without any restriction. And in Pratimarshanasya, Nasya itself is only for Urdhva Jatrugata Vikaras. So classically, they have given very well explanation for this. Only 2 drops of oil, either it may be Tila Taila or any oil, can be taken into the nasal. So Pratimarshanasya, only 2 drops in both the nostrils can be practiced to prevent the Urdhva Jatrugata Vikaras.
Thank you, doctor. I think I'm reminded of the sloka in Dinacharya Adhyaya of Ashtanga Hridaya Sutrasthana. Tato Navana Gandusham Dhumatam Vulavak. So, as part of the daily regimen, so Navanam, Nasyam, and Gandusha, all these are practiced on a daily basis. So, those are things which I think are parts of the healthy lifestyle which we have forgotten. Most of us, our elder generations would have followed these, but the new generations have forgotten most of the healthy practices.
So only all those our elders are having such a big lifespan, but we people are not having such a great lifespan, right?
Exactly.
So thanks for adding the spice to my answer, because you are the expert in that field. So I wholeheartedly accept your answer. Thank you, Dr. Girish.
Doctor, I also wanted to add, I was actually itching to add while you're talking about the oiling of wheat. Padabhyanga is excellent, particularly Ashtanga Sangraha has mentioned Padabhyange to Tatstairyam Nidra Drishti Prasadakrat. It was also good for the eyes. Eyes being my forte, I was reminded to talk about it.
Yes, sure. Most of the patients I have suggested this Padabhyanga, and we have a very good result also. So just by applying the thaila for the pada for a few minutes, and slowly they will get a good quality of a sleep. So we are having a very good result with this Padabhyanga.
Yes, doctor. We are also seeing a lot of result in most of the chronic eye cases, retinal cases, when we practice Padabhyanga along with the eye treatments, Kriya Kalpas, which we do. So without deviating much further, I'll go to the next question. Brahma Muhurte Uttishtet. So how can we practically bring this into our lives? Today, we all have active life till late night, and some even work in the night. We can't ask them not to take up night jobs. how do we make this practical, or what is a solution to help such people who cannot wake up early?
Yeah, I came to know nowadays in this generation, it is very difficult for them to attain both. So you have to choose whether you require the health or the wealth, right? So if you eager to have the health, there you have to forget about the wealth, and you have to choose the second option where you can shift. You have to change your shift to the daytime, right? So if you want both equally, means it is very difficult in this mechanical life nowadays, right? So it is very difficult. You have to change your shift of the duty. That's it. Obviously, practically we cannot say, right? So it's all depend upon the personal interest. How can we say if he is working for the night shift and you have to wake up for the Brahma Muhurta? It is very difficult. When you are able to follow Brahma Muhurta, you have to able to follow in Ratri Charya also. At the time they have said you have to sleep during at 9 o'clock p.m. Since 9 o'clock p.m. only you have to start sleeping, but you are not following that and you are expecting Brahma Muhurta, means it's very difficult, right? So health and wealth, you cannot attain both. And it's all your understanding how far you can attain the health and how far you can attain the wealth.
Would the questioner want to add something here?
Yeah, you can add, sir.
No, because it is more than the wealth part. It is about living part. Some people, for their living, they have to earn something. For that, they do a night job. So what do we do for them? They have to forsake health. Do we have alternative methods?
I mean, I think we are not
we
discussing
have one
about.
more thing, sir. Yeah, we have one more thing, sir. Actually, just now we have gone through the Diva Swapna concept there, like sleeping during daytime. And that is indicated in this type of people who are working in the night shift. And for them, we cannot expect to wake up in the early morning to attain the Brahma Muhurta, Swasthya Rakshartham Aisha. But it is indicated for them to sleep during daytime also. But remaining others are not indicated, and they got that eligibility criteria, right? So they can sleep during daytime as they are working in the night shift.
This is what I asked. So there should be some alternative, no? Because they are working for their life. It is not for wealth alone.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I can accept your words, sir.
Thank you, doctor.
So there is okay. The next question is, in Ayurveda, the doctors always advise us to consume milk and eggs. But what is your opinion on vegan diet, where they ask you to avoid all animal products?
All animal products means no problem. You can consume milk and egg on regular consumption. If at all, if you are feeling any difficulty with that, means depending upon sometime caste wise, some people won't consume the jangama dravyas like chicken, mutton. They don't consume sometimes, but they consume the milk. So in such a way, you can consume milk and egg, no problem. But it depends. Again, it is individualistic. We cannot pass a generalized statement. So depending upon the agni and interest, personal interest of the person, it is varying from person to the person.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you. There is someone else also has mentioned vegan food is ideal if one can resort to. Is it not? So again, I think the answer is there in the previous answer itself. How can we detoxify the toxins accumulated in the body? So that's another question.
Yeah, just now we have gone through the various Shodhana therapies, like called as Panchakarma therapies in our Ayurveda. So depending upon the type of lakshanas, okay, so which are the person is going to present, either they are related to the kapha or related to the pitta or related to the vata. So for the common people, we cannot completely say all those things like if at all this is the lakshana, it is going to be a pitta or it is going to be vata. So patient has to be examined carefully in order to attain the complete history and to decide whether which dosha is being accumulated there and which type of toxins may be evacuated. So depending upon that, we can plan a shodhana, right? If at all that is related to the pitta, we can plan for virechana or raktamoshana. Okay, if at all that is related to the kapha, we can plan vamana, right? So if at all it is a Basti, like Vata Javyadi. So more aggravation of Vata is there. So you can go for Basti Chikitsa also. So in such a way we can plan. But again, it is depending upon the type of symptoms where the patient is going to present.
Yes, doctor. I would also like to add that most of the time the detoxifying need to be done under the proper care of the
Yeah, yeah.
healthcare executive. The doctor should have a look at you and then decide on what should be done.
Yes,
Because most of the time, if detoxification is done wrongly and something happens, the blame comes to Ayurveda rather than
yes,
the-
yes. If at all, if you get benefited, you are not going to give the credits. Instead, if you get any bad result, you are going to blame the system, entire system, right? So proper procedure has to be done with the guidance of any qualified physician.
because there are quite a lot of people who should not be undergoing Shodhana also. So that needs to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
understood by the Ayurvedic doctor and that has to be done. So the best advice here would be to go to your nearest Ayurvedic doctor to
Yes.
get a clear picture on what can be done. Okay, there are some comments. Excellent presentation, very informative and educative presentation. There is a comment, I am 67, can I still have ghee?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure. You can consume the ghee. Ghee is not only the fat what you are consuming. Okay. So as per Ayurveda, we can consume the ghee in order to stimulate your Agni. On regular consumption of your ghee, you can stimulate your Agni so that if at all, if you are, again, it is individualistic. You have to visit your nearest Ayurvedic doctor so that he will check up what and all the things you are going on. So based on that, it is being suggested. Okay. So depending upon the conditions, we can suggest, right? So in a very little dosage, no problem, you can consume, right? So it is difficult to say. You cannot generalize the statement in our Ayurveda. It is completely individualistic.
We have the very advanced methodology of personalized medicine.
Yes, yes.
So, okay, there is another comment. Thank you for the knowledge, doctor. A very nice session, both informative and educative. Okay, friendship with good people would prevent diseases. How far is it relevant now?
Yes, obviously that is relevant. Why? Because nowadays, as I startingly said, the definition of the health, it is going to cover the physical, mental, and social health, right? So mentally as well as socially, if at all, if you're having a very good friend, that is also going to nourish the person, right? Imagine if you are having something in your home and in your comfortable area with the comfortable food, with the comfortable person who has cooked for you, at the time you will be nourished more. Instead, the same food, if you eat somewhere where you feel very difficult, imagine you are eating in a train, everyone are looking at you and you are feeling very humiliating. What is this? Right? So that is not going to nourish you. In such a way, the mental factors are also going to nourish your body. In such a way, having a very good friend is also a good nourishment mentally, right? So that will help in the maintenance of the healthy life.
Thank you, doctor. There is a comment from our medical superintendent. He was there throughout the session, but he had to leave because of certain technical factors as well as some engagements. So he has messaged me. I couldn't continue to attend the session. Of course, happy that Dr. Mahesh has given a wonderful talk. Wish him all the best. Thank you. So he has given a wish from his side. He is 70 plus and he is our senior most part of the Ashtanga family, and he is our medical superintendent. So Dr.
Thank
TV
you.
Warrior.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your best comments and thank you for encouraging us. Thank you so much.
So there is another point. Doctor, I missed the slide in which you had mentioned Ajwain and Dash. Can you please share again?
Yeah, a minute. I will share my screen.
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
I think this screen, everybody can actually take a screenshot with the permission of Dr. Mahesh.
Yeah, you can.
This is very important and this is something which everybody can follow. This keeps you healthy most of the time. So the Ajwain, 2 grams Ajwain powder plus 2 grams soft powder with hot water. So
With
that is for
hot water.
flatulence.
Yes. Most of the time suggested during night time while sleeping before to bed.
And it is safe also in feeding mothers and pregnant ladies.
Yes.
Because I think that would be a relevant question. Most people are, even doctors, among doctors, I have seen that most doctors are afraid to give medication, or rather than medication, to give advice even to pregnant ladies.
Yes, why? Because it is a rare category where they fall under most of the contraindications, like pregnant ladies, children, and vayovruddhas, aged people, right? So only most of the people are fearing to suggest in all such type of things, right?
Yes, yes. I think very good doctors for such people are the Swastavrta people like my good friend Dr. Mahesh, who can actually give the best of advice on both the dietetic side as well as the exercise side, as well as staying healthy for such people as well. So I think people should be approaching Swastavrta people for such answers.
Yeah, thank you for giving me this wide opportunity, and I feel very proud to be a part of your webinar. Thanks for the organizers.
Doctor, there is one more question. Doctor, can you advise which are acid foods?
Acid foods are nothing but like lemon and a tomato, non-veg, tea, all such type of things are more acidic. So only you can also assume, like while consumption of such type of ahara, you will feel that burning of the chest whenever they are consumed in a excess, like the masala foods. Okay, all those things will be having the more pH, right? So all those can be considered as acidic foods only.
I think most of the time, doctor, people have forgotten to listen to their body. Acid foods can also be identified when you take a food, and when you just listen to your body will give you
Yes.
the response of heating up in the abdomen or something like that. Some people feel the sudden start of burping and all that. So that each person's body responds to acidic food in a different way. So I think listening to the body is essential these days, because people have
Obviously,
forgotten to
but
do
no
that.
one will listen. Everyone forgot to listening that, and
So
they
that
will
is why
teach
they
the
need
body
us.
how to be.
That is why they need doctors like us, I guess.
Yes. At the time, they will take one pan 40 and they will subside that Lakshana, and they will say that you keep quiet, don't suffer me. So
This is
sometimes we have to listen to our body, right?
that's what. So there is another comment. This is a good message given to us. Wish you all the best to Dr. Mahesh. There is
Thank you.
also another message. Excellent session from one Dr. Sudhir Kumar.
Thank you, sir.
So I think we have come to the end of this session. Any more questions, anybody? Do you want to share any questions? If you want to ask directly, you can ask directly as well. We'll just wait for a minute and see if anybody has any questions.
Yeah. But really felt very happy to share my knowledge in this big platform. And
Thank you, Doctor.
Thanks for our organizers for giving me this opportunity and conducting such a big webinar in an organized way. And I thank to my institution also, Sharda Ayurvedic Medical College, and the chairman, Dr. Chandrasekhar Kupi sir, and for all their encouragement and support to get all such type of knowledge and share with all of us. Thank you. And my friend, Dr. Girish. So I really convey my wholehearted thanks to you for presenting me this opportunity to share my knowledge with you.
We would also like to thank you from Ashtanga's side, Dr. Mahesh. It was a great session. We had a great time. We also got a lot of essential and important take-home points, which were useful to all of us. So who listen to us, even everybody, even doctors would get a lot of new things when we discuss with specialists. So I have got a lot of new points which I can use in my practice as well. So thank you, Dr. Mahesh, for that. So I think today, because of certain limitations, our MD also could not join up right now. So I would ask our Executive Director, Mr. T.R. Shashi Warrier, to thank everybody. But before that, I would want to thank Mr. Vigneshwaran, who is taking care of the IT support for us. He's from eQuadriga. Thank you, Vignesh.
Thank you, sir. So kind of you.
Yes, Mr. T.R. Shashi Warrier, would you like
Thank you, Vignesh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Girish. And Dr. Mahesh, it has been an exciting presentation. Very interesting, a lot of information to all of us. So I'm sure all the people who have listened to you have taken home some very good points today. So this is a very informative
Thank you,
session,
sir.
and
Thank you
all
so
of us will remember to live better. So I think this is also a wake-up call for us all to take care of our health. And it has been a wonderful session. You have been very vocal in what you wanted to present. Your presentation was very explicit and explanatory. And it has been wonderful that we have been able to have you with us for this session. Thank you very much. And thank you all the listeners who have been here and contributing with your questions as well as your listening skills. All of you have listened and taken home some good points. So thank you all for being here and being with us. We are all honored here at Ashtanga to have you here and listen to us. Thank you very much. All the very best, Dr. Mahesh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Mahesh. So today being Sunday, most of us would have other activities also planned after this dinner and stuff like that. So would not want to take much of your time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Please come back.
Anybody else who wants to have a direct question with Dr. Mahesh Raj?
Yes, please. Please, anybody?
So we have quite a few experts here. There is an expert in botany. There's an expert in quality. So we have people here who are, capable of advising us on various issues. Would you like to give some comments, Dr. Govindan?
Thank you, Dr. Shashi. Well, you are doing very well. I know I have visited the factory and I still vividly remember the traceability aspect that you have in place, as well as the systems that you have implemented in your factory. So please continue your efforts and serve the society. That's all I can say. All the best to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So he's an expert in ISI, all quality systems. So he is one of the advisors of PSG College of Arts and Science and many other institutions that I know. So he's also my uncle.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Kalavati, you would like to add something here? Dr. Kalavati is an expert in botany.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a very excellent lecture, and certain dimensions which so far I have not heard of, not thought of, have been discussed today, especially about your company and your way of thought, thinking, and your friends. All that is a newer dimension to me.
And I'm daughter of Mrs. Kalavati, and I would like to add certain points that I could overhear from her. First of all, you spoke about the perks of having a good company. I would really second it, because I have experienced that very recently. When I was surrounded with good friends, I was able to see that the time flies by, and I was able to eat and sleep well. And when I just do all the work by myself, I work from home. Then I could see the time it is taking a longer duration, and there is a dip in my mood, the way I eat, everything. There is a shift that I could oversee. So that is something that I want to add. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kalal.
Thank you so much for that feedback. Anybody else would
Anybody?
like to add anything?
Manimala, any more questions?
No, sir. No.
There was another comment. Excellent session, Dr. Mahesh Raj, sir. It's useful to us.
Thank you.
So then I think we can come to the end of this session. Thank you so much, Dr. Mahesh Raj. Thank you once again for everybody present here for coming. And please continue to support Ashtanga webinar series. Continue to come to our webinars, which are once a month on the second week, every Sunday, 6:30 p.m. So each time we would love to get you great subjects so that we have good discussions in life, so that we
Sure,
have a
sure.
very healthy lifestyle.
Sure, Dr. Girish.
Thank you, Doctor.
Surely
Thank
will
you,
help
everybody.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you all and have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I too feel very proud to be a part of your webinar as a guest speaker. And I'm honored. I feel very happy today. Thank you,
We are
sir.
very happy to have you here.
We are very happy to have
Yes.
you also, Doctor. It's been a long time we
Thank
met
you.
also.
Thank you, Girish, sir.
Thank you.